Today I want to help you dissolve your fear to speak in public and give you 5.5 keys that totally change the way you interact with people and with the world. It really sucks, I know that, when you are in a meeting and you get sweaty hands because you're about to say something. Or you're at a party and you don't quite know what to say. Everyone is enjoying themselves, but you don't know how to fit in. You don't know how to start a conversation, and you feel kind of small and out of place. It is much better when you're at a party and you know exactly what to say at the right time, you're having fun, everything flows and you flow with the party. Or if you're at a meeting and you're presenting the information that is needed in the right way and you feel good about it afterwards. When I started my professional career, I was actually working in a Japanese company in Japan, and we had these presentations once a week where I had to present what the section of the company I was working in was doing, how the performance was, what the processes that we were working on was doing. And I really hated those meetings because I felt small, I felt like an imposter, I got really sweaty, and even though other people said I was doing all right, I didn't feel I was doing all right. And I didn't really feel I was progressing as I was working in that company. Luckily, during that time, I came across hypnosis and I learned to work with the unconscious mind. I learned self-hypnosis and I learned principles of hypnosis, which really taught me that I could reprogram myself to feel comfortable in meetings. My name is Carsten Küstner from Hypnotic Intent, and I'm now a hypnotherapist working over 15 years with clients and also teaching hypnosis to thousands of people. Now, I came a long way because when I first learned hypnosis and learned how to connect with the unconscious mind, that was really my journey to feeling comfortable of speaking in public. And it really taught me a few things. That's why I want to present you with those 5.5 keys, and which I will come to in a moment. Just to say that it was a process, it took a while, but then it really clicked and it completely changed the way I interacted with people. And now I love speaking in public, I love teaching, I love being in front of people, I love being in groups. I don't have a problem being at parties and saying what I have to say and enjoying myself. I want that for you too. So here come the 5.5 principles. The first principle is called context. It is about setting up the right context. It's something that we do in hypnosis. And by the way, there are contexts where you don't need to say so much. And when you're taking on these 5.5 principles, then there will come a time when you're so comfortable speaking in public that there are actually contexts where you have to hold yourself back from saying too much. You don't need to always take center stage. That's something I want to say, that whatever you learn here doesn't mean you always have to be in the center of everything. Actually, I had to learn that once I got so comfortable speaking in public that sometimes it's actually good to not say anything, just kind of keep in the background and enjoy that too. So that's not something that you get rid of. It's something that you enhance by being comfortable in, by speaking in public as well. So what do I mean by context? It means, what is the meeting, the group for? What is your conversation or what is your communication for? Be very clear about that. For example, if there's a meeting and you're an employee in a company, the context is that you probably have to just present facts. There's nothing else expected of you. There's no interpretation or judgment expected of you. It's for other people to judge the content that you're presenting, the numbers or the figures or the work that you're presenting. So the context really wants from you that you prepare for presenting the facts and nothing else. If you're a CEO, it's different. Then you're there to interpret the numbers in a way that helps the company to move forward, that you make something of the numbers. Then probably what is needed of you is that you motivate people, that you congratulate people, that you also tell people, well, this is kind of the way the company is moving. So that's a different kind of context because you're in a different perspective. If you're at a party, the context is that people are just having fun. You don't need to stand out. Nobody expects of you to be good at a party. Nobody expects that because everybody just wants to enjoy themselves. So the best thing you can do is enjoy yourself as best as you can. And I get it, if you're not comfortable in party settings saying something, then at first it might seem that it's difficult to enjoy yourself when speaking with somebody. But I bet you've had the experience that you were speaking with some people at parties and you enjoyed yourself tremendously. What happened there? It is probably that you forgot about trying to be good and you just presented yourself as you were. You were probably talking about a topic that you were comfortable with, so you got your in. We'll talk about that. But the first thing is just to know and recognize before you are in a group setting, what kind of context are you in? Are you in a meeting? Are you at a party? And what's going on there? Which brings us to the second principle, the second key of the 5.5 keys. The second key is called setting an intention. It is very important to go into any kind of meeting or group setting with an intention. If you don't set an intention, you're probably going in there and your unconscious mind does what it's programmed for, giving you fear, and probably then at the end of the meeting you say, oh, that was difficult, that was hard, and the fear maybe even more than before. But if you set the right intention, if you say, all right, in this meeting, I want to present facts in a good way, so I want other people to know what I've been working on. I want this company to move forward. I want my section of the company to be better. I want, as a CEO, I want the employees to feel comfortable and to be motivated. In the party, I want everyone to have fun, and I want to have fun myself. I want to leave this party thinking that I really had fun and knowing that I really had fun. So that is setting an intention, and it's very important. Do that a few times. In the beginning, it may not make such a big difference, but over time, you'll see it will make a huge difference, because the outcome of your presentations, the outcome of your communication will start kind of getting shaped in the way your intention is going. So before, you might have had no intention, you might have just gone randomly into any kind of interaction, but now you just set an intention and then you just let things go as they are. And there are other keys that I'm presenting you with. We had so far, what was it? Key number 1, context. Oh, there was the second key only. The second key was setting an intention. The third key of the 5.5 keys, looks like 7, but it's 5.5. The third key is distinguishing between rehearsal and performance. When you're at a party, when you're in a meeting, when you're publicly speaking, when you're presenting, when you're teaching something, that is not a time to rehearse. That is just a time to perform. And at that point, you are just being in the moment. The best thing that you can do is just let the moment flow as it is and not judge it. If you notice yourself judging it, just kind of let the judgments go and tell yourself, this is performance, this is not rehearsal. In rehearsal, you can judge yourself. In rehearsal, you say, okay, this part I want to do better. Let's do this again. This part I want to do differently. Let's try it again. That is for the rehearsal period. That is before the performance and after the performance, not during the performance. And it's so important to distinguish the two. It will lift a weight off your shoulders during the performance, and it will also focus you during the rehearsal more. Because during the rehearsal, it's not time to perform. During the rehearsal, you just rehearse little things, like what I'm going to present. There are other keys, like key number 4 and 5 and 5.5, you're going to rehearse during the rehearsal, but not during the performance. When you're actually performing, when you're presenting, when you're interacting with other people as a performance or in the moment, then you're just yourself and ordinary. Try to be ordinary. There's a saying in Zen, which I'm very fond of, and this saying goes, ordinary mind is the way. Ordinary mind is the way. At first I didn't like that saying because I didn't want to be ordinary. I wanted to be better. And that doesn't exclude, being ordinary doesn't exclude getting better. But getting better takes place when you rehearse and then you let go in performance. You basically, in the performance, you integrate what you had rehearsed. So performance is part of the rehearsal, is part of the getting better, but you can only get better when you let go of trying to get better in that moment. You just try to get better in the rehearsal time. I think you get the point. Just emphasizing it over and over so it really sinks in also into your unconscious mind. Since I'm a hypnotist, I want to make sure your unconscious mind is on board, not just your conscious mind. So distinguish between rehearsal and performance is key number 3. Key number 4, very important. I already said it. Stop trying to be good. Stop trying to impress. A lot of times we're trying to impress someone. You can even ask yourself, when you're in a public setting, are you trying to impress your parents, your mother or your father? A lot of times that's the case. If we let them go, and if we realize that they never know what comes out of this performance, this interaction, this communication, it's not for our father, not for our mother, then already it gets lighter and gets easier. And you're not performing for the other people either, because what they're taking away, and that's another point, but what they're taking away is their thing. Whatever thought they're having about the interaction is their business. Your business is only what thoughts you are having, what intention you're setting about this experience or this interaction, the context you're in, and then set the intention and stop trying to rehearse and be better than you are, because you can never be better than you are. You can only be who you are. And then there are rehearsal stages, as I said, where you can start becoming better, or you rehearse to be better, but you can never be better than you are. You're just doing whatever you do, and that's always good enough. Now realize that in the moment as you're performing, you're giving something as a gift from you. You're giving your communication, you're giving facts, you're giving information, or you're teaching something, or you're giving something from the heart, you're giving a feeling, and that intention in combination with your performance is your gift. And it's coming from the bottom of your heart. Let it come from your heart. And then other people can take away whatever they want. They will take away more than you think, because their unconscious mind is on board, and they will probably take away more than they think even. For example, now I'm giving something, I'm talking to you, and I have an intention, I want you to be good, and I want to help you really dissolve any fear connected to public speaking or to performing in general. That's my gift. And I am making sure I'm giving the right information, and it's coming from the bottom of my heart. But what you take away from it, how you now use this information and apply it in your own life, is at the end of the day up to you. It's up to your conscious mind, but more so up to your unconscious mind. Because unconsciously you're always taking away more than you think, and it will change you. I truly believe that this will change your life for the better in ways you cannot even expect it, in ways you cannot even imagine yet. I truly believe that. So when you talk with people, wherever you are, in whatever kind of context, let go of having to make sure that somebody else is taking something away, or is feeling a certain way about it, or thinking a certain way about it. The best way to make sure that they're taking away a lot is by just being you and giving the information that you want to give. That's key number 4. Key number 5 is about visualization. Now, a lot of times we are visualizing a catastrophic outcome, especially when we feel bad in public situations. Then chances are you're sometimes consciously, more likely unconsciously, visualizing some kind of catastrophic outcome. They will eat you alive, they will burn you at the stake, they will hate you forever. Become aware of what you're visualizing. What outcome are you visualizing? And then you can change that outcome. You can change that visualization, and I would invite you to start visualizing the end of the interaction. So visualize yourself smiling, congratulating yourself, other people congratulating you, visualizing yourself going out of a meeting surprised how well it went, coming from a party thinking this was so wonderful, everything was flowing so well. See yourself smiling coming from a party. See yourself dancing coming from a party. See yourself, after any kind of public situation, yourself just happy and at peace with yourself and at peace with other people. So that's the fifth key. Visualize yourself coming out of this situation a better person and a happier person than before, energized and engaged with the world. That is something you can visualize no matter what your past experiences were. You can still visualize it even though the thoughts may still be crazy, you know. That's part of the rehearsal, is the visualization. You don't visualize during the performance, by the way, this is an important point. Do that as a rehearsal. Before you go into any kind of public situation, you just rehearse the visualization, the outcome, the positive outcome for you. And then during the performance, you just let it go. And when during the performance, any kind of negative thoughts or so come up, you just let them be. It's okay. Next time you will, after the performance, you will start visualizing again for the next performance, and you will visualize a better outcome. And maybe you surprise yourself, and even the first time you perform with this kind of visualization and having set a positive outcome, having set an intention, knowing what kind of context you're going into, and also letting go of the expectation of other people, trying to impress people. If you're not doing all of that, I guarantee with those 5 points, with those 5 keys, you completely change even the first interaction you have in public, and it will just get better every time. Now, here's key 5.5. 5.5 because it's also about visualization. But now you visualize in the rehearsal stage a positive outcome for the other person, a positive outcome for other people in the interaction. So you visualize how somebody else is enhanced, somebody else has changed, somebody else smiles at the end. Not for you to get better, you've already visualized that, but for them to get better. Or even visualize how the world gets better, or your town gets better, or a bunch of people, a group of people gets enhanced, get some kind of positive outcome from the interaction. Not for you because you've already visualized for you, but for the other people. This is an important principle because now you make sure it's a win-win situation for everyone. And if you keep visualizing that, I guarantee your interactions will become much easier, more relaxed, and you can let go into the moment even better. Because you let go in the performance, but in the rehearsal stage, you are making sure you visualize good outcomes for you as well as for other people. So those are the 5.5 keys. Let's recap real quick. Number 1 is setting the right context, and even in some context, you don't want to say anything. That's fine too, by the way. But you can, number 2, set an intention for the context that fits the context. Set an intention of the outcome that you want to have in that interaction. Number 3, the third key is to distinguish between rehearsal time and performance time. That's very important because when you rehearse, you are trying to get better. You take little things, you can do self-hypnosis, you can visualize, you can set intentions, and then when the performance comes, you just let go. You're just being yourself in the moment, whoever you are in that moment. You can totally be yourself. Here, the saying, just be yourself, really makes sense because you can just be yourself with all your flaws, and then you learn from it. Next time you rehearse, you get better. This is such an important key, and I think it will really, really lift a big weight off your shoulders and off your chest and off your throat when you want to talk. Number 4, stop trying to be good, stop trying to impress. It's really good to just perform in the moment, just let go and let other people take away whatever they want to take away and have whatever thoughts they have about your presentation or you. It's none of your business, it's their business. It's really important to distinguish between other people's business and your business. Your business is your business, their business is their business. What they're thinking, how they like it, if they're having fun is their business. If you're having fun is your business. So just make sure you have fun. And if you're not having fun, then rehearse that you're going to have fun next time. And then perform, see that it gets better. Key number 5, visualize. Visualize a positive outcome and really do that. You can use self-hypnosis. You can just close your eyes and just go to the end of the interaction, visualize something positive, and also notice where automatically or naturally you have been programmed to see something negative. That's fine. You don't need to dissolve that right away. It's more that you become conscious of it, and then you, instead of that, you start visualizing something positive, and over time you'll see that your belief systems will change. What you believe about yourself and about interactions, about other people, and about the world will start changing, and what concepts, what thoughts you have about yourself will change gradually, but then drastically in a very, very positive way. And then step number 5.5, key number 5.5, is visualize a positive outcome for other people, for many people, for groups of people, for the world in general. That is very helpful to generate win-win situations, and also, again, not have the burden of changing other people's outcomes. It's more that you want that. You visualize that, and then you let it go in the performance part. You don't have to then visualize a positive outcome for other people because you've already done it beforehand. So those are the 5.5 keys. Use them. Go over this video over and over, at least many times, or more than once, and let those keys sink in, and you will see that it already changes what you are doing and how you are performing, how you're doing, how you're feeling, and how you deal with your fears. Now, if you want to go deeper, you can use self-hypnosis to really reprogram your unconscious mind. And if you're interested in doing that, go to this video here where I start introducing you to self-hypnosis.